Welcome back, my enlightened ones. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, thanks for stumbling along us. And if you like this, please like the video and send it out there to anybody and everybody. So anyway, it helps me get my content out there. So tonight is going to be a really crazy night. We're going to be talking about Brigid, the Celtic goddess. Also, she was also sainted by Catholics. We're also going to be talking about Imbolc, which is another part of the Wheel of the Year, which we'll be discussing in a second. So, again, if you're new here, I'm Kat. I'm Four Winds. I like to teach things and do things, and just going to run over here and say hello to Adam. Welcome, Adam, and Vincent, and Andrew, and Shanunu, which is Shane. Aaron's Pix is in here. We have Julie in here. I believe there's a few others that may be in here that I actually can't see. Carrie may be in here, but I'm not sure. But anyway, so as I'm saying, this is going to be a really great class. There's going to be a lot of information in here. Sorry, just trying to get back to where I need to be. So I'm really excited you guys are here with me. Over here, I have my going the wrong way. Left is right, right is left. There we go. I have my Bridgid basket, and I will be sharing the contents with you. These are things that you can put on your altar as tributes to Bridgid, or they're just little things that you can leave out just to celebrate in bulk and kind of get you connected. So in bulk basically is it's new beginnings again. It's bringing in the light. That's why the color yellow there is on Four Winds. It's bringing back that light. The wheel of the year now is starting to turn back. The sun and the days are getting longer. Yay, Helios! So anyway, so this is going to be a lot of fun tonight. I have a sad story about Brigid to tell you, but it's again, we all go through what's called dark night of the soul, and this is where things tear us down, and we can either choose to lie down and die, or we rise up from this as the phoenix does, and we can rise above it, and we rise as warriors, and we rise being stronger. Unfortunately, we learn the most from the crap that drives us to our knees. We learn the most from the bad experiences, and unfortunately, that is how life is. When you have a good memory or a good experience, it's a good memory. When you have a bad experience, it becomes something. Remember, your emotional tie is what ties you to the spiritual world. So when something really crashes and burns you, there's a lot of emotion in there, and this is how places become haunted, such as this one that I'm living in now. When you have that emotion, like singing "Somebody Murdered You," or that emotion is just slammed out there. Oh, something just went by. Did you see that? I just went by. But this is really cool because Brigid also is, as I told you, I work with the clan or the Tuath, the Dodonin, which is my fairy folk that we deal with. And Brigid is part of this. So this is really exciting. And I have so much to share with you guys tonight. So again, I'm going to jump over to chat real quick just to say hello. And then we'll get rocking and rolling. What you say? So beautiful. Julie's in here. Carrie. Yay, Carrie. Welcome, Carrie. Welcome, welcome. Sarah will be in a moment. She's actually eating. Um, must have sustenance. So anyway, so Brigid, here we go. Imbolc Blessings 101. Okay, first of all, I want to explain Imbolc. Okay, Imbolc is the pagan celebration of the halfway mark to the equinox of spring, and I'll explain that in a minute. But if you notice underneath the candle here, it says Candlemas. Okay, Candlemas is when the Catholicism, they have to dip their toe in everything. Okay, as you had Yule. Okay, for the pagan holiday, they turn to Christmas. Okay, when we have the Easter's coming, that actually Easter is another holiday that will be coming up as well, that I will be sharing with you guys, which is a pagan holiday that they turned into being Easter and in the rebirth of Christ. So anyway, I am Catholic. I'm not poo-pooing on my religion, but I'm also very open in understanding of everything, and I understand how oppression and trying to control the masses can actually step in and get your toes stepped on. So anyway, so they took this holiday of Imbolc, and they changed it to being Candlemas. Candlemas is a celebration of lighting candles in Catholicism, in celebration, again, the returning of the sun. So it's basically the same holiday, just a different name. I discussed the Wheel of the Year. Okay, now if you go to the top, which is Samhain, looks like Samhain, but it's not, it's Samhain, which is October 31st into November 1st. We just celebrated Yule, which was December 21st, which is the winter solstice. Now we are at Imbolc. So now if you look, okay, let's make a cross from Samhain down to Beltane. Do you see that? Go straight up and down. And then go from Lunesta, which is left, over to Imbolc to the right. Okay. Remember I mentioned that there are Sabbats and a Spats, okay? Your Samhain and Beltane and Lunesta and Imbolc, okay, are Sabbats, okay? And then you have your equinoxes, okay? These are your spats, which are lesser holidays that are celebrated, okay? So we are actually in Imbolc. We are on the halfway point over to Ostara. Ostara, again, that's our Easter, okay, that the Catholics took over. So anyway, so just a few symbols of Bridget before I get into her story. She represents fire, milk, preferably lactation from a sheep. That's why the sheep's there in the corner. That is a Bridget's cross, and I will be explaining that to you in a moment as well. Baked foods, anything, bread, cookies, anything along that line is a tribute to her. The snowdrop flower, it's the first flower that is seen before spring actually erupts. The Bridgid Doll, which I do have one and I have made and I will be sharing with you. And as I said, the sheep. So this is Bridget. She's holding fire in her hand. Okay, so as I said, let's jump back here. Imbolc is the third Sabbath holiday in the Wheel of the Year, celebrated between January 31st and February 1st, and you will see it also February 2nd. It depends on the practitioner. So again, don't be confused if you see different dates. Also, too, with Bridget's name, her name is spelt many different ways, okay? Brigit is one way. Brigid is another way. There are several spellings of her name, just to make you aware of that as well, and don't let that confuse you. All right, so February 1st is Imbolc, also means sheep's milk. So the word Imbolc actually means sheep's milk. The lactation of the, okay. For this was a time of year lambs were born and mother's milk was presented. Imbolc was ancient Celtic roots, is closely associated with the Celtic goddess Brigid, as I said. This is why we're talking about Brigid tonight. Imbolc marks the halfway point between the winter solstice and the spring solstice. Okay, so we're between December 21st and March 21st. Okay, so that is the midpoint there, is what they're talking about. Something just showed up in front of me. So Ostara is the vernal spring equinox. Many modern day customs, including the Catholic celebration of Candlemas, as I said, that Christian holiday, and the American custom of Groundhog Day. Yes, you're going to be learning about how Groundhog Day came into play tonight as well, so that's kind of interesting. They are born out of the ancient customs of Imbolc. So Brigid, the Celtic goddess of crafts, learning, and fertility. Brigid, the goddess of Imbolc celebrations, took the form of the festival in honor of the pagan goddess Brigid, who was evoked. Evoked means calling to you. Invoked means going inside of you, remember. Infertility, blessings, and oversaw poetry, crafts, and prophecy. Brigid was worshipped by the Philad. The Philad is a class of poets and historians among the Celts of ancient Ireland and Britain. So the Philad, that's tonight's word, children. Philad. So how is everybody tonight before I get too involved in this and get too carried away? Michael, my buddy, I miss you, my friend. my best friend. I haven't seen him in a while. He's been busy. Jasmine's here. Awesome, Jasmine. Great to have you, my love. Driving home. Well, you be careful and you pay attention to the road. We want a safe Jasmine. Michael, I can't believe you're here. It's like God has made its presence. Yay! Michael is my best friend, as you guys know. He's our techie person. He also makes our coffins for some of the dolls upstairs. He also fixed the TV. We have been best friends for about 8 years. We met when I was at the end of getting rid of my demonic attachment, and he helped me get rid of it the rest of the way by teaching me Holy Fire Reiki, which this is going to be upcoming classes, and I do want to point that out. I am going to be teaching free Reiki classes, the Holy Fire Reiki. It's the highest vibrational Reiki up there that you can actually take into you, and the beauty of it, it's not religious. Okay, so don't think of it as religion, okay? But it's the highest vibrational Reiki out there. So whatever you do for Reiki, put it aside. You don't need to do it anymore. This is going to take place of everything. And as I said, they're going to be free classes, and I'm actually working on them now. So that's something that's going to be a lot of fun and to be putting into play. I also have a Reiki table, and I'm sure I can get Mike to come over here and lay on the table and play dead while I do Reiki on him. Okay, so I'm going to jump back over now to my banners. Here we go. Okay, so Brigid, the Celtic goddess of crafts, learning, and fertility. I want to talk about her father right now. Her father is Dagda. Now, if you remember, I mentioned in another class, this is Dagda, okay? Pretty creepy looking guy, okay? He's Celtic. He's a Celtic druid is who he is, okay? Dagda, he is this. Remember I told you I always say good God? Well, good God means Dagda. He was a Celtic deity and he's club-wielding chief of the Irish Tuatha Na Dóin. Ha, my tribe. All right, with the power over both life and death, he was associated with fertility, agriculture, magic, and druidry. Druidry. Is that really a word? Anyway, okay. He was a druid. Okay, so that's her dad, and that's pretty high up there. So I just wanted to share that with you. Okay, just a little bit more information. Dagda is an important god of Irish mythology. Something just shot in front of me. One of Tuatha Na Dóin, and as I said, the Dagda is portrayed as a father figure king and druid. He is associated with fertility, agriculture, as I said, manliness, strength. All right, as well as magic and wisdom and being druid. He can control life, death, and weather, crops, as well as time and the seasons. So I just wanted to bring him into play with this because Bridget's a pretty amazing lady. In fact, I did a meditation on her today, and something pretty crazy happened to my meditation, so I'll share that later. Okay, Imbolc is most closely associated with the Celtic goddess Brigid, who was celebrated as the goddess of learning, healing, smith arts. Yes, she could smith. Okay, with her arts. Okay, she's craftsman and fertility. Unlike many Celtic deities who were worshipped on more local levels, Brigid was widely followed by the Irish Celtic people, and they were worshipped. Ah! All right, Brigid, the Celtic goddess of fire. Okay, there she is, Celtic goddess of fire. All right. In Forged and Hearth, poetry, healing, childbirth, unity is celebrated in many European countries. She is known as many names, including that of Saint Brigid, who is perhaps the most powerful religious figure in Irish history. Most powerful figure in Irish history. That's crazy. Okay, here she is. Listen to this. Born at the exact moment of daybreak, Brigid rose into the sky with the sun, rays of fire beaming from her head. She was the daughter of Dagda, the great father god of Ireland. Wow. How do you compete with that? You can't. You can't compete with that stuff. All right. In Druid mythology, the infant goddess was fed with milk from a sacred cow. From the other world, Brigid owned an apple orchard in the other world. Listen to this. And her bees would bring their magical nectar back here to Earth for humanity to share in. She's so considerate. It is said that wherever she walked, small flowers in shamrocks will appear. And we're going to find out on St. Patty's Day that Brigid was actually very good friends with St. Patrick. This is insane how it all, I really have to take a moment here because this is really mind blowing for me, guys. I work with a lot of saints and I understand these holidays and stuff. I'm doing as much learning as you guys are here. Okay. I know about, rituals and that type of stuff, but these deities and these gods and these goddesses, this is all stuff that's really coming into my life and playing a part in it now. And it's so crazy how it's all tied to the Dwat to the Dawning or Greek mythology or it's just, you want the answers to everything? Pay attention to Greek mythology. It's not as fictitious as you may think it is. So that's kind of nuts. I'm rambling. Here we go. All right. As a sun goddess, her gifts are light, knowledge, inspiration, and vital and healing energy of the sun. She became wife of Breast. Okay, now listen, this is where her dark night of the soul is going to come in. Her story is going to get a little sad here, guys. The Irish king, Breast was the Irish king. Together they produced sons. Each of them became a famous warrior. Brigid and her husband came from two warring tribes and hoped their marriage would end in anonymity between the kin. So she was hoping it was like the Hatfields and the McCoys fighting, that by joining together in marriage that would bring unity to these tribes. But on the contrary, it did not. All right, a major battle between two families were about to begin. Here we go. Those damn in-laws. Death takes the beloved son. Yes. Brigid's eldest son, using the knowledge of metalsmithing that he had learned from his mother as well as Dada, his grandfather, struck the first blow, killing the smith, the opposing army. But as the warrior fell to the ground, he managed one last blow before he died. The Rudon was also killed as well. Brigid's grief was enormous for the continual hatred between the two sides of her family and for the death of her son. Her lamentations were so loud. Okay, listen to this. This is crazy because you've heard of the banshee and the screaming and the wailing that a banshee does. Brigid invented it, and you're going to hear it right now, okay? All right, her lamentations were so loud that they were heard throughout Ireland and so heart-rending that both sides left the battle and forged in peace. She cried so hard, and I believe it's called keening. She cried so hard that both sides gave up. They just couldn't do it anymore. The goddess Brigid is said to have originated the practice of keening. Keening. That is the wail of the banshee that you hear. In Celtic families in origin, if someone is about to die in the family, a banshee will come and forewarn by keening, bellowing or crying, mourning for that soul that is about to pass. So that's kind of cool. She is also credited with the invention of whistling, which she used to summon her friends to her side. Huh. I didn't know that. Thank you for the whistling. The war is over. Here we go, guys. Eventually, the love and respect for the goddess Brigid brought unity to the Celts, who were spread throughout Europe. Regardless of their differences, they all agreed upon her goddessness and compassion. The story of the two lepers. This is one story that she's actually known for. One of the most popular tales of Goddess Brigid involved two lepers. Lepers, in case you don't know, are people that have a disease where their ears and their nose and their body parts start to fall off. That's not good. All right. The goddess Brigid involved two lepers who appeared at her sacred well in Kildare. And remember, she's from Kildare, and asked to be healed. She told them that they were to bathe each other until their skin healed. After the first one was healed, he left only revulsion for the other and would not touch him or bathe him. He refused. Angered, Brigid caused his leprosy to return. Then she gently placed her mantle, which is another name for cloak, over the other leper that the first leper didn't want to help, and he was immediately healed. So that's one of her stories. Traditions related to Brigid. Ireland is full of springs, wells named after the goddess Brigid. Symbolically, water is seen as a portal to the other world, and you have heard me say it. The fairies have drawn it on my drum. The symbol, that whirligig that they draw, that is a gateway through water. Anything with a reflective surface is a gateway, but water is a major gateway. Okay. Otherworld as a source of wisdom and healing. There is a saying that Brigid rewards any offering to her. So coin offerings were often tossed into the wells, and this is where wishing wells came to be, is from Brigid. Yes, more enlightenment for us tonight. People started throwing coins into the water, which water was a gateway to give gifts to Brigid, and this is where the first wishing wells came to play. I want to love, and you throw it in the make a wish, you know. All right, there is a saying, so that is really crazy. The Brigid shrines. Okay, let me go down here. Brigid's known as having three sisters, and I want to put an end to this right now. She did not have three sisters. She has Hecate, which will be another class. Hecate, which is the moon goddess, which Brigid is also a moon goddess, in case you wasn't aware of that either. But Hecate is known as maid, mother, and crone. Okay, the three phases of the moon. And Brigid also has this, a lot of your deities and gods, and this is why people get so caught up on names, and I say, let that shit go. Don't get caught up in the names. They know who they are, you know, just as like I said, I'm Cat, I'm Lavender Willow, I'm Four Winds. I have many names, but I know who the hell I am. Okay. Don't get caught up in the names of things, because sometimes their names change over times and through stories and everything else. And, you know, just as, you know, Yahweh, and just as Yosef, and just as Jesus. I mean, come on, you can go on for, don't get caught up in the names. All right. So Brigid shrines, at her most famous shrine, Brigid taught humans how to gather, use herbs for their healing properties, and how to care for their livestock. All right, and how to forge iron into tools. As a goddess of childbirth and protector of all children, she is the patroness of wifery. Midwifery? Midwifery. Midwifery. Yay. She helps drop the babies. All right. This shrine near Kildare was located near an ancient oak that was considered to be the sacred by Druids. In fact, it was seen as so sacred that no one was allowed to bring a weapon there. And I'm wondering, you have the tree of life in Celtic lore, which is called Yggdrasil. And I believe he was an oak tree. Could it be? It's believed that at the roots of the tree of life, Yggdrasil, this is where all the dimensions come together. So that's kind of crazy. The shrine is believed to have been an ancient college of priestesses who were committed in 30 years of service, after which they were free to leave and to marry. So they would make a commitment for 30 years to worship, and then after that they were free. So basically it's kind of like being a nun for a little bit. During the first 10 years they received training. The next 10 were spending tending sacred wells, groves, and hills of the goddess Brigid. And the last decade was spent teaching others. So the students in turn would become the teachers. 19 priestesses. Priestesses? Okay. 19 priestesses. Sorry, I can't help myself. were assigned to tend the perpetual flame of the sacred fire of Brigid. This is insane. You have to listen to this, okay? This fire burned for 500 years, never went out, and never produced ash. That's crazy. All right. Each was assigned to keep the flames alive for one day. On the 12th day, the goddess Brigid herself kept the fire burning brightly. 500 years with no ash, as I said. That's crazy. All right, Christianity. Let's go down the rabbit hole now, shall we? Before we do, I'm going to jump over to chat because I'm being so rude. Okay, that's not good to have the sun on you if you're Irish. No kidding. There's a sunburn there for yourself and a couple more freckling on your face and your butt, depending what part you're sunbathing, I guess. So I'm so happy that you guys are here tonight. Michael, I'm so excited. Okay, all right. So, as I said, happy Imbolc. This is the lactation of the sheep on the U. I love you. EWE. Okay. The Christian monastery eventually built upon the site of her sacred shrine and continued this tradition. It became known as the great European center of learning and culture. Indeed, it was instrumental in preserving much ancient learning and literature during the Dark Ages. The feast day of Brigid, known as Imbolc. Now you know what Imbolc is, people. It's not just the halfway point, and it's Brigid's day. So, it's celebrated at the start of February, midway through winter. Like the goddess herself, it is meant to give us hope and to remind us that spring is soon to return. Spring is on its way. Brigid was credited with bringing civilization to the Celtic people. Stop fighting, bitches. Sorry. All right. Similar to the Roman myth, the Vesta Virgins, you've heard of them, okay? As well as Janus. Ooh, we've learned of Janus. He's amazing. That's where January comes from. Brigid was thought to be attended by all female priesthood. Wouldn't that be priestesses? Not priest. Priestesses hood? I guess it doesn't roll off your tongue, though, does it? Okay. Every year at midwinter, festivals are thrown in honor of the goddess as a way to encourage and return of springtime. So as we bring in the greenery during Yule, we're holding that. We're worshiping that greenery, and we're holding that hey, it's going to come back in the springtime. So kind of the same thing going on here. Okay, so ancient Imbolc celebrations means, okay, so the word Imbolc, here you go, guys, means the belly. It means from the belly. Where does milk come from for sheep? From the belly. Well, not necessarily. A little higher up, but but in their case, from near the belly. Okay, and is not so subtle reference to fertility, new beginnings for the harvest season. Also known as, oh boy, they love throwing these words at me, oy milk. Oy milk? Oy vey. Oy milk. Okay, oy milk. Okay, it's generally celebrated on February 1st, though some people opt to celebrate it closer to February 5th, when the sun reaches the exact astronomical midpoint of 15 degrees Aquarius, or on the second full moon after the winter solstice. Yeah. Imbolc has three main associations. Veneration of fire and water. Brigid was the patron of smith work. Think of the fire in a blacksmith's forge. The waterways in Ireland. How do they cool the metal when they heat it? They stick it in water. Okay. Quickening on new life in the womb. Brigid was the Celtic goddess of fertility, remember, and was honored during the season of birth and rebirth. The seeds from last year's harvest would be planted for the new season. This can be both literal and metaphorical. And 3, the lactation of the ewes. Ewes? What about the me's? By midwinter, the food supply of Northern Europe in Middle Ages relied on grains harvested in the previous seasons and butter, cheese, milk, lactating animals. This is why dairy products and grain products are both popular foods to make during Imbolc. This is why you make breads and your stuff. Because Imbolc is the midway point between winter solstice and spring equinox, it was regarded as a season unto itself. A time of change when the days are longer and the sun is stronger. Early Celtic celebrations, including lighting fires to warm the frozen land, hanging four-cornered Brigid crosses, which I will show you one that I made, above doorways to bless and protect the home. And again, what did I say about the pagans? They're all about protection. The Christmas carols weren't about Jesus Christ. Christmas carols, the original ones, were about keeping away evil, singing songs, raising that frequency in your home. So it's just so crazy how it all works. If they heard a bird, it meant that God, oh, here, this is what, get this one. Similar to the idea of Groundhog's Day. Yes, here we go. Down the groundhog hole. Ancient Celts would listen for the lark to sing on Imbolc, okay? If they heard the bird, it meant that God had returned to the goddess and spring would be early this year. If they do not hear the lark, okay, it's going to be a prolonged winter, just as Toxicani, a groundhog for us. If we don't see his shadow, there's going to be another, 4 weeks or 2 weeks or something like that of winter. I forget. All right. The origins of Imbolc. Okay. The celebration of Imbolc dates back to pre-Christian era. Okay, so this goes back quite a ways. In the British Isles, the earliest mentions of Imbolc in Irish literature were found in the 10th century. Poetry from the time relates the holiday to the ewe's milk with the implication of purification. Now remember, you guys are going to be going into February with me. February stands for purification. That's the month of purification. So that's what this is all leading up to. It's been speculated that this ritual stems from the breeding cycle of sheep in the beginning of lactation. The holidays was traditionally aligned with the first day of spring in the idea of rebirth. Brigid was considered one of the most powerful Celtic gods. Wouldn't that be goddess? Anyway, the daughter of Dagda, the oldest god of the Celtic pantheon, Tuatha and Adonin, my tribe. Okay, she has two sisters named Brigid and Brigid. Okay, as I said, she does not have sisters. I'm going to pull it up here again. Here she is. Okay, so this is Brigid in the middle, and to the right, the other right is Brigid, and then to the left is the other Brigid. No, I don't think so. It's the same being, guys, just saying. All right. She has two sisters, but it's speculated that these sisters are meant to be symbolized different aspects of the same goddess. As I said, as Hecate is maid, mother, and crone. Brigid is Bridget, and Brigid. It's like my brother Daryl and my other brother Daryl. Only in name. All right. Myths about Brigid's birth say that she was born with a flame in her head and drank the milk of a mystical cow from the spirit world. Brigid is credited with the very first keening. That's that bellowing, mourning for somebody in such a way that it breaks your soul. That's keening. The traditional wailing sing of the dead practice at funerals by Irish and Scottish women. They actually will hire keenings. Would they be keeners? I guess it'd be keeners. They hire keeners to come to Irish funerals to do this keening. I hope they're staying further back away so they're not too loud. Okay. In pre-Christian times, the ancient Imbolc observance began the night before February 1st. Okay, so January 31st, they would start. Celebrants prepared for the visit from Brigid into their homes by crafting an effigy. An effigy is usually something made of herbs, crystals. You put it together, and usually it's wrapped up. Almost looks like a burrito. But you can form effigies, not necessarily looking like a burrito, but you can form effigies by putting we'll have to do a class on effigies. And all right, so that's what an effigy is we actually found one in the Tower of Death in Cape Elizabeth. We found one in the window, and it wasn't there when we first got there, which is really quite creepy. All right, celebrants prepare crafting an effigy of the goddess from bundles of oats in rushes, and I have made one for you tonight. It is over here in my Brigid basket. Is that like a bread basket? I guess so, because there's bread in it. Okay. The effigy is placed in a dress and put in a basket overnight. I hope she's still there. I haven't looked. It's possible she could have taken off. The fairies like to play games on me. We'll have to see. Sorry. I like to play. All right. The day of Imbolc was celebrated by rituals including burning lamps and lighting bonfires to tribute Brigid. Okay. And as we had in Yule too, they also did bonfires. They do bonfires, which remember used to be bone fires. They used to throw people in them, sacrifices, those druids. This was before TV, and they were looking for entertainment. No, it was a way. Again, I don't believe in this. I'm just sharing the history. Not believe in it. I don't. I'm not saying I don't believe in it. I don't believe in the sacrifices need to be that severe. I believe that you can give sacrifices, as I have in my Brigid basket over here, which you will see, without having to kill anything. She was renowned for her charity to the poor and stories around her healing powers. Saint Brigid was a friend to Saint Patrick. I did not lie. They share those shamrocks together. Shamrock tea, is that a thing? Okay. Whose preaching set her on the course at an early age, and she became Ireland's first nun. Yes, she went from being a Celtic goddess to becoming a nun. In the 12th century, legend holds the nuns of Kildare attended a fire built in St. Brigid's honor. The fire had burned for 500 years, as I said. I'm sorry if I'm repeating, and produced no ash. And only women were allowed in proximity of the fire. The men had to stand back in the shade and be cold. All right. Brigid comes St. Brigid. Like many pagan customs, the goddess Brigid was adopted by Christians' church in the Middle Ages and was canonized. They put her in a cannon and shoot her? I'm just kidding. St. Brigid of Kildare. She became St. Brigid of Kildare. You go, girl. Whose saint day is February 1st. Her shrine was attended by 19 nuns, similar to the all-female priesthood of the goddess Brigid. So kind of the same thing, except this time it's all nuns. The modern Imbolc. Today's modern celebration of Imbolc is considered a low-key, loose, and sometimes private affair concerned with reconnecting with nature. Since it's climate-specific holiday, some followers of Wicca religion adjust their celebration of it to correspond with a date more appropriate to the coming of spring where they live. Others embrace the symbolism of it and celebrate the holiday to keep it February 1st, this tradition on the 1st, which is what I prefer to do. I am going to discuss, I have a brief thing on Candlemas here. I just want to jump over and see what everybody's discussing about. Everybody gone to sleep yet? Yay, Jasmine's finally home safe. Okay, awesome. Happy to hear that, Jasmine. Gotta keep our girl safe. All right, so Candlemas, as I said, I want to discuss this briefly. Candlemas is a Christian holiday celebrated on February 2nd. This is why you see in Imbolc sometimes they'll put February 2nd on it, okay? It's usually celebrated from January 31st to February 5th in that period, okay? I prefer to celebrate it the 1st. Sometimes I will do it on the 2nd, depending what I have going on. But she's very understanding. She's a saint and a goddess, and she got kind heart. Okay. Candlemas is a Christian holiday celebrated, as I said, on February 2nd that was aspects in the common with Imbolc. Its celebration can be traced to the 4th century Greece. Here we go, back to the Greece. as a purification holiday. And as I said, February is a purification holiday. Back in the Rome's on the Roman calendar, believe it or not, I believe it's January and February weren't even on the calendar. There were only 10 months in a year. Did you know that? I found that out yesterday. So anyway, I thought that was quite interesting, and it was I'm not sure who. We'll get into that in the next class, but I believe it was Romulus or one of those emperors that decided, you know what, we need another couple months in here, because February is actually the month of purification, and they partied from Yule up to here now doing not so good things, probably adultery and debauchery and all these lovely things. So they inserted the month of February to, hey, we got to start praying now or we're going to burn in hell. So anyway, so they added a few extra months. So yeah, why not? So you can thank them for a 12-month year. Okay, Greece as a purification holiday, a celebration of the return of light after winter's darkness. Candles have traditionally been used in this observance. It's possible that candle mass is a Christian adaptation to the Roman holiday Februaria. 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 I have to say it because it still doesn't sound right to me. But anyway, that is how it's pronounced, and that is what we will be discussing next class. Imbolc and Groundhog Day. Here we go. February 2nd is also celebrated Groundhog Day, which begins in the United States in 1887. We have been pulling a groundhog from his hold since 1887. Yeah, I won't touch that one. The idea is that a groundhog exiting a burrow can predict whether winter will stay or go based on whether the groundhog sees its shadow or not. The day was a stunt by a newspaper in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, that has endured and held out to this day. So I don't believe it's the same groundhog that's been hanging around since 1887, though. I think he'd be a little dusty and crusty. Okay. Concocted in Pennsylvania, Dutch country, Groundhog Day is believed to be an adaptation of the German Candlemas tradition involving a badger. Badger. They're kind of hard to handle, a badger. I can see why they went to a groundhog. It's a little bit more timid. There have been attempts to portray Groundhog Day as a modern offshoot of Imbolc, but the 2 days are not likely directly related. So Groundhog Day is comes off from Imbolc, but again, they're saying it's not directly related. So we're just going to leave it at that. Here comes the fun stuff, guys. Okay, hope I haven't bored you yet. How to celebrate Imbolc. Modern day Imbolc celebrations can be incorporated ancient traditions such as lighting candles, candle magic. I believe there's a great class for that. Oh, sorry. Making crafts, baking bread is also a good time to pause and look inward. Shadow work, so important, guys. Get that shadow work done. To get in, let's see here, making crafts, looking inward, and think about what it is you wish to accomplish in the upcoming year ahead. Imbolc is a time to take what you have learned and apply it to new endeavors as the wheel of the year turns. Here are a few easy Imbolc celebrations you can do with items you probably already have. Engraving a candle with a word that has a special meaning to you, and light the candle on January 31st to February 1st. So any of those days is acceptable to burn the candle, or you can burn it on every day if you wish, to signify a new beginning in your life. Bake a loaf of bread. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just going through the rhythm of mixing, kneading, rising, baking is enough of a ritual. If you have access, serve your bread with locally made butter and give thanks for the blessings in your life. I'm all about being thankful, as you guys hear me all the time. Many blessings, and I sound like a blessing fairy. I'm sorry, but this is what I'm turning into. Should have met me 20 years ago. I was the FU fairy. I kid. But anyway, no. So anyway, I'm just going up brighter and brighter in light, and I just can't help myself. So I'm just all about blessings and being thankful and gratitude, because the more you put that out there, the more that comes back to you threefold. So anyway, why not? Planting seeds. If you set an intention at Rule the winter solstice, get a couple of seed packets, hold them in your hands. This is a great idea, guys. Hold the seeds in your hand. As you program your crystals, you can program your seeds. Julie's my grower. She's a grower, not a shower. My friend Julie here, that's in chat here tonight, she actually has gardens. She has magnificent gardens of vegetables and raspberries and rhubarb and you name it, she has it. And I go over every year and go swimming in her pool, and I steal some of her plants and her abundance. But she's amazing, and this is what you can do, Julie, or anybody else who wishes to do it. I like to start seeds. They're fun. I love watching things grow. Put the intent. This is what I want. I want peace on earth. I don't care if it's something big like that. Still put it in the seed. That little seed's going to grow, and that little plant is going to put that energy out, because there's consciousness to that plant. And it's going to put that consciousness out there. Even if it's a little small amount, it's still doing its part, and it's still helping. Putting your consciousness into the water, blessing the water as you give it to your plants and feed them blessed water, high vibrational water. I guarantee, if you want to do an experiment, and I have done this, I planted one bean seed here and one bead seed here, and I blessed all the water in this one, and I didn't bless the water in this one. This one grew like crazy. This one grew, but it didn't grow. It didn't catch up with the other one. So intent, man, I know you guys are sick of hearing me say it, but intent is everything. It really, I need you to be that childlike mind. I need you to step into yourselves and say, I believe there's rainbows over here, and see it in your third eye, and you have created it. If you believe it, your reality, you've manifested it, your reality. Well, your belief is your reality. Remember that. You can create a new reality if the one you have sucks. Create a new one. Don't stay in the vibe of that one. Start meditating. Start doing things. Raise yourself out of that frequency of that vibration. Plant seeds. So that's a great thing. To plant the seeds in a small pot with soil and make sure to water frequently. The reminder to nurture your intentions will help them to grow. So put your intent out there. Maybe a business or a new job you're looking for. I want a new job. Please help bring this to me. Put it into the seed. Plant it. And as that seed grows, see your ideas. See the things that you need to put in order to get that new job, and work and use the energy along with the plant to help you manifest that into your life. Just another way of doing things. Make Bridgid Dollies, a Bridgid cross to protect your home. Bake oat cakes and leave milk outside for Bridget on Imbolc Eve. Decorate your altar. So January 31st, if you want to leave milk out for Bridget, that would be great. Decorate your altar with colors and symbols related to Imbolc, and I'm going to be sharing some of you in my, something just shattered. Oh, did you see that? It went over right over here. It shot in front of my face and went over by my bed. Remember that the fairies that I work with are Tuath and the Dawnin. So Bridget is their goddess. So I'm talking about their queen, one of their queens here. So they're going to be poking around here. Start your spring cleaning. Yes. This is one of the reasons why we spring clean every year. This is part of the service to Bridget. Cleaning out your home, getting rid of things that no longer are serving you, and doing a whole deep clean of your home feels overwhelming. Pick one room or area in your home and declutter it. Even decluttering it. Remember, stale, stagnant energy, you don't want that in your home. I will rearrange my stuff, because I can feel the stagnant and the staleness of the energy. Negative things like to hold up in that. So it's important to get into those closets and rearrange things and put that good intention in there, because it really, you will notice a difference in the frequency of your home when you do these things. Seriously, you will. Absolutely. If you have any little bit of ESP in you, you will notice the difference. I guarantee it. So if doing a whole like I said, spruce up your home, and with the intention as you do these things to have the intention of, thank you, Bridget, I'm doing this in honor of you, or whatever, helps you to connect with her. The colors that are associated with Bridget are blue, green, gold, and orange. I have my golden shirt on tonight with my moon. She's the moon goddess. So this is my dedication to her, as well as the things I have in my Bridget basket. Naturally, as the goddess of fire, Brigid is most often associated with the color gold. Gold is a symbol of power and royalty, but is also a symbol of generosity, compassion, and endurance. Other gems and metals, and I have a bunch of crystals in the basket, and I'm going to be sharing with you that are her gemstones. Other gems and metals that symbolize Brigid are brass, silver, carnelian, agate, copper, amethyst, jasper, and rock crystals. Bridget's sacred flower, and you guys are going to hate yourselves after I say it, is the dandelion. Yes, we kill that thing every year. It makes a presence in our lawn. But you don't have to just outright and kill it. Go outside. You can actually take dandelion heads, fill a jar up with vinegar, and put about that much dandelions in it, and then fill the jar up with vinegar, and keep it. Vinegar never goes bad, and you can actually shake it on a daily basis. And I've had dandelion vinegar. It's very has great healing powers in it. You pour a little bit on a salad, mix it in with your salad dressing. It's really there's a lot of nutritional value. I believe it also, I'm not sure if it was it vitamin C. Anyway, I have to look into that about the dandelion. Sorry, I have so many herbs and crystals and everything in my head that I get a little confused. Could it be the old age? Could be the old age, I suppose. Okay, so when the dandelion petals turn into white seeds, they represent Bridget's sorrows and tragedies of losing her son. So this summer, when you pick that dandelion up and you blow those seeds away, put the intent on the empathy of connecting with Bridget and knowing that sorrow and that pain that she went through, and as we all go through in our human forms. Okay, so here comes the fun part. I'm going to jump over the chat though and just make sure that everybody's not sleeping. All right, dandelion wine. There you go. Hey, Nacho Michelle. I pick them and keep them. I love to make dandelion wreaths. I know you all have done this. The little crowns that you put on your grandchildren's heads. Look, antennas. I'm sorry. That we all put on our grandchildren's heads or our children's heads, or we've all done this. We've all done this as kids. Don't deny it. So, there goes Michelle. We just lost her. She's gone to sleep. Me and Soph love dandelions. We used to pick them all the time to keep them in jars. That's awesome. So, okay. So let's get to the fun stuff. I'm going to go back to my banners. I'll make sure I played them all out. And I did not. Okay. So we mentioned the Bridget cross. Bridget cross is a small variant of the cross, often woven from straw or rushes. It appears in many different shapes, but the most popular designs feature a woven diamond, or lozenge it's called, in the center. The cross is named for the Christian saint Brigid of Kildare, or the pagan goddess Brigid. One and the same. Or maybe it's her sister Brigid. Okay. St. Bridget's cross is placed on doorways to ward off evil, fire, and hunger from your home. Just giving you more ideas to hang up symbols, guys. Here's St. Bridget. There she is of Ireland. Hey, look what she's in her hand. St. Bridget's cross. She's holding it high in her hand. Here she is again. I prefer this picture of her because this is the way I actually see her, is with her red hair. In fact, it's funny because I made the doll of her and I felt I needed to braid the hair on the doll. And guess what? I found that too. So it's kind of funny how you do things and then you find things afterwards. But Bridget, if you notice, she has a feather in this hand. She's actually doing poetry. If you want to call on her in times of being creative, doing arts and crafts. You notice she's got the Bridgid cross too around her neckline there as well. She's also the symbol of health. You can see the two snakes intertwining there. I always forget the name of that. And I can hear Adam's husband yelling at me right now, Vincent. Oh. So this is a church in Portugal. When Saint Brigid died, they cut off her head. They like to take saints for some reason. You're going to learn this about St. Patrick too. They like to dismember them and send their body parts to different churches. This one's in Portugal. This is actually, her head is encased in here. St. Brigid's skull is in there. Good God. Anyway, I can't think of a better way to honor a saint. Let's dismember her and send her all over the world. So anyway, so Brigid, Blessed Brigid, this is an invocation. Remember, evocation is I'm asking her to come by my side. I'm going to evoke her into me right now because I want to share her gifts that I have behind me with her. So I'm going to do a small invocation. So if you guys give me 1 second. I'm going to center and put my roots down. Few cleansing breaths. Okay, here we go. Blessed Brigid, I honor you. See, notice how her name's spelled here. It's different. I honor you with the sacred flame. I ask for your guidance, blessings, and protection. Guide my heart and bless me with your love and inspiration. Please protect the ones I love with the warmth of your sacred fires. Arise, Blessed Brigid. Awaken the earth with your fiery arrows of light. So that was an invocation. That was her. I'm asking her to come basically inside of me, okay? Brigid of Sacred Flame, I come tonight to call your name. Aid me in the magical rite. Bless me with your presence tonight. Brigid, Goddess of Sacred Well, help me turn my mystical spell. Keep my hearth and home with care so I may feel your magic there. Okay. So with that, I'm going to pull over my Brigid basket and share that with you guys. Okay. So this is my Brigid baskets. And sorry, everything's backwards. I'm gonna get used to that. So in my Brigid baskets, I have many things that I'm going to share with you. So I'm just going to set this on the table in front of me. Okay. And let's see here. So the first thing I've erected, okay, this is the Brigid's cross, okay. Now keep in mind, I've just invoked Brigid in here. I'm asking the Tuatha and the Donna to please come and be with us as well. So do notice if you start seeing more things flying around. So this is a Brigid cross. Believe it or not, I made this out of, hang on, let me dim this a little bit so you can see it. Okay, so the Brigid cross, I made this. This is actually made from a magazine. These are magazine pages. In fact, Mike will appreciate this. It's a Reiki magazine that Michael gave to me. I ran across it the other day. So basically, I just folded up the pages. I have linked videos to how to make a Brigid cross as well as how to make a Bridgid Doll. I have linked it below in the video here. So if you're interested in doing that, please just go down to the, where the description is where it is. So this is a Brigid cross that I made and painted as well and tried putting her colors in there. Okay. The next thing I said is that she is of poetry. So I'm writing a letter. I just saw something zip over this way. Hello. Roses are red, violets are blue. I am four winds, sending blessings to you. All right, that's my poetry to you guys. Pretty lame. Okay, oh, I just saw something else zip behind me. Did you see that? Okay, so things are starting to zip zoo. Okay, so of course, apples. Remember, if you cut the apple this way where the stem and the bottom are at one end, and you cut it through this way, you get that perfect pentagram on the inside. That's a great thing to put. Oh, there's one. Did you see it right over here? That was Faye. Hello, my beautiful little fairies. You coming to say hello? So the there. Did you see it? It was right there. Oh my God! Can you come back, my little Faye? There. Well, it's on the other side now. Now there's. That was crazy. When you have it, you can't say that that's dust. When it sits here and reverses direction and goes and zips and zoos, that is Faye, guys. That's really crazy. So apples, again, are offerings to them. Candles, lighting candles. Here's a lit candle. Here's another lit candle over here. I'm going to put this stuff on the bed when I'm done, guys. And I'm going to leave the basket there, and we're going to sit for 5 minutes and see what comes and pokes in the basket, okay? If that's cool with you guys. Here's a goofy little dolly I made. This is just out of plastic, but it's very simple to me. This is my beautiful one that I actually did make here. Yes, I always make them with a hanger. And it's kind of ironic. When I do things, I get things, then find out later, oh my God, that's crazy. Remember I said that she, I put the key on here because it's got the word love. If you can see that love right there, okay? But the crazy part is the key has shamrocks on it. And as I said, she's associated with shamrocks. And so that was a happy accident. I had over 30 keys to pick from, and this is the key I picked. So that's kind of crazy. Again, flowers, usually light blue flowers symbolize her. Something just shot up this way. Hello, little Faye. Too often a dawning. I call to you. And I kind of made her to be in a little nun outfit here too. So that's Bridget, and she reminds me of strawberry shortcake with the pink cheeks. And anyway, something just went up right up in front of my head. Did you see that? Okay. So that's the Bridgid Dolly. And again, I've linked on how to make both of these down below in the description. Like I said, seeds. Seeds are very, very cool. This is a really cool box that I have here. It's got a bunch of goddesses on it, but don't need that. But on the inside, I have seeds. Whoops, -1. But again, with the intent, this is a bean seed. You can, with the intent of, I wish to bring blessings to a new year as well as growth, and whatever you want, you can put into the seeds. Pumpkin seeds. I got tomato seeds in here. There's a bunch of seeds in there, so that's kind of really cool to do here. I'm trying to pull up incense, dragon's blood. Oh, that's my favorite. Dragon's blood because it's protection. So that's the reason why I use this one in her basket, because again, incense is another offering to her. Dragon's blood would be a great one to offer to Bridget as well, because it is protection, and that's what she's about, is protection. Again, candles. I did make fennel cake the other day, so this is a fennel cake that I have in here for her. And let's see here. Iron, remember, she forges from iron. So I found a piece of iron. This is crazy. And I painted it. I got the Bridget's cross on it. It says Bridget right there at the top. It's got fire on it, which also represents her. And grain, which is coming down from the top here. And of course, the sad little dandelion that everybody likes to mow. But that is real. That's real iron. Now, remember, iron has power to it. Remember, fairies don't like iron, okay, as far as the destruction of man. Their things are made of iron. They cut down trees and cut down things. That's the reason why they don't like iron. They can touch it. They can handle it. It doesn't hurt them. But iron does have power to it. A lot of your jails, your old jails, it's not just the jail cells, the bars that are made of iron. There's also rebarb in the floor that runs through the cement also too. And iron actually can entrap and encase spirit. So if you ever want to make a containment unit to entrap something that's a negative spirit, you can actually make it out of iron. So that's just a bit of information there. Another thing that represents her is tea. Make a lovely cup of tea for her, herbal tea. She loves herbal tea. This is blueberry here tea that I have going on here. Another thing, as they said, remember wishing wells. Coins is another tribute to her as well. So that's another great thing. Her crystals, rose quartz represents Bridget. Amethyst represents Bridget. The regular quartz crystals represent Bridget. Um, Again, another amethyst piece. This is what's called the harmony stone. When you have 2 points that are equal in length, that's a harmony stone. So if you wanted to work on a relationship or a partnership, this is a great stone to have. Selenite. Remember the magic of selenite. This is your battery. You never have to charge. You never have to cleanse selenite. It is the god of all crystals. So it's got light in it. Native Americans used to believe that anything that had I got fairies flying around again. Anything that has that iridescent, see it? The iridescence to it. They believe that that is actually the spirit within the stone itself that's creating that illumination from within. That's the essence of the spirit in there. Such as in tiger's eye, you'll also see that. So there's a little bit of information there. Another thing that represents Bridget is water. I put some roses in there for her and a couple of flowers. They will take on the vibration of the roses and the flowers as well. So that's another great, lovely thing. Okay, so basically I've gone through everything in my baskets here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it back on the bed with the intent to see, because I got apples and I have offerings for you guys in here to come and help yourselves. So let me set this back on the bed. And the seeds and everything. I took out everything. Okay, I think I'm done. Hey, and I found my little seed. Okay, so I'm going to move this back over here. Okay. All right. So I'm going to turn this. I've put offerings on the bed for you, Bridget, and any of my Tuatha family. You're welcome to partake. Oh, did you see that? One I think was a hair, but the other one was not. Adam's having a cup of tea. I have a cup of tea with seeds. Okay, another one just shot this way. Oh, actually this way. I'm sorry, going backwards here, guys. Faye, can you come on in? Oh, another one just went down over here by the door. It just went down. I have offerings for you. I wish for you to come and partake. Oh, there they come. There was 2 of them. Did you see that? Right by the door. There was 2 of them. They came in and they turned around and went back. Come on, my little fairy folk. Can you come say hi? Can you fly right in front of my camera and come say hi? I'd love to have you do that. Hey, Chris. Welcome. Good to have you, dear. We're just watching the fairies buzz around the basket. See, you know what? I didn't open up the water. Water's a gateway, so let me open up the water. That's the main reason why I put it in here in the first place. Okay, so here's some water I need for you guys, all blessed. And here's some fennel cake that I need for you. Oh, I can smell the cinnamon and sugar on that puppy. That smells good. All right, I'm going to sit back down. Okay. I have libations for you on my bed. My beautiful Tuatha and Bridget, please. These are my offerings to you to thank you for the coming year and for bringing back the light and the color of Imbolc to us. Okay. We'll just wait a few more minutes and then I'll let you guys go for tonight. But I just wanted to share Imbolc with you. As I said too, next week's class is what's February about? February, and I think there's a couple of celebrations. Again, it's on purity and understanding how we didn't have January and February, I don't believe, were the 2 months that were missing from the year. We only had 10 months in a year once upon a time back in the Roman days. So it's just all crazy how this all comes to be and how everything has led to where we are today. And I like to share, and the funniest part is I hated history when I was in school, absolutely hated it. And now it's like, I can't get enough of it. I can't learn enough. I can't teach enough. Like I said, we are going to be teaching Reiki classes in the near future here. I'm actually working on some stuff now in the background. So if you don't see me on so much, that's what I'm doing. So anyway, well, I think I'm going to let everybody go here. I'm going to leave this basket out overnight and through February 1st, it will be sitting there, minus the bread, of course, and anything that's not good. But I wish to thank everybody for coming tonight. Shane, of course, he doesn't have a choice. We kidnapped him. Sarah Sinister, Natalie, no, wow, my mind's shot right now. Julie, there we go. Julie, I'm looking without my glasses on. And Jasmine and Adam and Vincent, thank you so much for sharing your time. Chris, glad you can make it. Mike, my buddy, so missed you. Michelle for joining us. Nacho. And anybody else. Carrie, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Hope the music wasn't too loud tonight. Was having technical problems. My computer didn't want to mute, so I'm actually listening to the music too with you guys. So anyway, I wish you the best. Happy Imbolc to you guys. Jump back over to my banners here and just throw this one up here. So Brigid brings a flame of hope and inspirations, wishing you bright and happy Imbolc from Four Winds. So this is my Imbolc blessings to you guys, and I love it when you come and join me, and thank you so much. If you can like this video, like I said, I am trying to get my content out there, but God bless. I love having you guys here, and Chris and everybody, thank you for joining me tonight, and have a great night, and we'll see you next week, same time, same channel. Take care, guys. Remember, shine, shine, shine. Shine, shine, shine.